Hello everyone, I'm Rachael-Grace with the Bloomin' Witch, and I'm back with our Monday, I keep thinking it's Monday, it's Friday, Friday evening yoga class. I'm switching it up a little bit. This evening I am in what we call here in our house the magic room. So this is my sacred space that I do my meditation in, sometimes my movement practices, where I kind of get to use up my creative energies. So this is my container, this is my sacred space, and I was just feeling like I wanted to be in the space to practice yoga with you guys this evening. So here we are. You can kind of get a feel for it here. It's a really colorful room, and that's something that I love. I love a lot of vibrancy, a lot of color. It helps me to feel inspired and feel creative. And just kind of feeds my soul and feeds my energy. So you get kind of a little peek into my world. The other room that we've been practicing in is our official yoga space that my husband and I created together. So it's kind of cool. We're fortunate enough and privileged enough to have a really big, beautiful home. And Chris has his music studio downstairs. We have our bedroom. Our daughter has her room. We have our yoga space, and this gets to be my space. So I absolutely love and adore my space. I get to do whatever I want with it. You can kind of peek around and see that I have, lots of kind of different magical things. I've got shelves with plants and all my herbs and oils, and I've got a whole cabinet over here full of different things that I've collected throughout my life and different things that friends have given us that, represent their energy. You can kind of see at the top over here, I've got some lanterns and little plants hanging there. I've got my little altar kind of back there in the corner. And then over on the other side is our love altar, where I have a bunch of dried flowers hanging, and that is the altar for mine and Chris's love that we like to just kind of gather at every now and then. So this is my space. And again, this is where I was just feeling really inspired to do our practice this evening. So this evening's practice is going to be kind of a gentle flow or a gentle practice. I think interested in moving our body in a little less of a linear fashion today. So we'll probably be doing a good amount of our practice seated. We might do some standing stuff. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied here. But I really wanted to kind of get into a really embodied practice, and a more feminine aspect of practice, which I think is fitting since we're coming up to Mother's Day, and the flowers that we were talking about today in our daily blue meditation was the tulip, and one of the representations of tulip is rebirth. So I just kind of liken rebirth to just moving in ways that really wakes things up and really brings our bodies to the sense of feeling really alive and open. So with that being said, if you are practicing with me this evening, welcome. Please grab your yoga mat. Make sure you have props that will support you in any way that you might need. Grab some water. And then, as always, make sure, if you like to practice to music, make sure you have a playlist going on in the background that you can listen to. And hopefully you can still hear me as I guide you through our sequence today. So feel free to come to your mat. I'm going to get situated as well, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so as always, let's go ahead and take a few moments to get grounded into our bodies. So you might feel comfortable starting in a seat. You might also prefer to start lying down. So that's really a personal preference, and I will let you decide. So if you do choose to lie down on your back, make sure your legs are extended out in front of you, arms down by your sides. Eyes can close, eyes might stay open, but if they do stay open, just soften your gaze and maybe turn your gaze down towards the tip of your nose. If you are choosing to remain seated, It's always a good idea to try and sit up tall without feeling super rigid, but it's healthier than just kind of slouching and dumping in the space. So we want to create nice open lines of energy. So sitting up tall, but still finding a way to remain relaxed. Let the shoulders drop back a little bit. And we just start to sense here. And we can start to sense our feet, our legs, our hips, our belly and chest. Begin to sense all up the length of your spine, from the base of your spine to the base of your neck. And then expand out into the shoulders, down through your arms, into your fingertips. And then travel back up the arms to circle the head and notice the space of the mind. And listen for your flow of breath. If deciding to continue working with the energy of the tulip today, we can focus on things such as rebirth, deep love, gratitude, friendship. Those are all symbols of the tulip flower. And the tulip flower is a flower that is quite popular this time of year for springtime arrangements, for Mother's Day arrangements, growing them in your garden. They're one of the first flowers of spring. You might like to create an intention around any of those things as well. So just take a few more moments. You may begin to brush your thumbs along your fingertips and wiggle your toes. And if you're lying down, maybe rock your head from side to side. If you are seated, you might take some gentle circles with the head and with the neck. And then maybe moving shoulders a little bit, stretching out, lifting arms overhead, just whatever feels good to you. See, we've got some people joining for practice today. My sister-in-law Jenny is on. Lynn is on, one of my yoga students from Mountainside. Welcome, everyone. So if you're on your back, let's go ahead and make our way up to a seat. You can take a comfortable seated position. So most of us have an easier time accessing a simple cross-leg position. However, if you find another way that is comfortable for you to sit, feel free. We're just starting out real simply here. So again, coming to a nice tall seat, inhaling the left arm up, allowing the right hand to reach out over to the side, and then we'll just stretch open, maybe take a few arm circles here on the left side. And then reverse it. And then we switch, inhaling, lifting all the way up, left hand comes to the floor, right arm reaches up and over, and then perhaps a few arm circles on this side. And then reverse. And then we're taking it side to side, one breath at a time. Take it to the right, inhale, lift, exhale to the left, Inhale, lift. Exhale to the right. And we're just gently floating. And we'll do one more for each. And then right back up to a seat. Hands can rest somewhere on the legs. So upper body circles. Leaning forward and then circling around in one direction. And then taking those circles in reverse. And we'll inhale back up, moving into seated cat-cow. So again, hands can remain on the knees as you inhale. Lift the heart and lift the chin. Exhale, round the spine, lower the chin to chest. Inhale, we open. Exhale, round it out. Keep it flowing. And then right back up to a seat. Let's lower the right ear down towards the right shoulder. You might like to take that right arm overhead, press it into the side of your head, the left side, and maybe gently encourage that right ear down a little more without force. And we release. Left ear comes to left shoulder. And then that left hand might wrap around towards the right side of the head. And release. So we're working the shoulders now. So sort of undulating the shoulders back. Trying to loosen things up there. And then take it in reverse. And then we inhale the arms all the way up. Exhale, lower the arms down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, up. This time we exhale, bend the elbows, fingertips come to the tops of the shoulders, and we circle the elbows forward. And take those circles in reverse. And release, hands down towards the mat. Adjust your seat, maybe switch the leg that's in front. Both arms are reaching out towards side, and then we're simply shifting our upper body left and right. Staying with a nice, steady, even breath as we move. And then we'll slow it down, kind of shake out those shoulders a little bit. When you're ready, come onto your hands and knees. So we make our way into tabletop and then back into cat-cow here. So let's make sure first that our hands are lined up underneath our shoulders. And if you look, you can see that my hips pretty much align over top of my knees. And then I'm inhaling first. But this time I want to pull up through my belly button, round my back as I breathe in, and then exhale through extension. So we're moving in opposition, or opposite what we did when we were in seated cat-cow. So we inhale around the spine, and then exhale through extension. Let's do 3 more. And we'll come back to a neutral spine. Now we'll move hips side to side, and then as the right hip sticks out, our gaze turns towards the right hip. We'll take it to the left, look towards the left hip, and side to side. So you can decide what pace you would like to move the body. And moving back towards center. Let's open up the knees a little bit wider than the hips, and the toes can stay together. We might even walk our hands forward, excuse me, an inch or two, and then moving into hip circles. So allow those hips to circle all the way around. And if you have a lot of tightness in the hips, you might notice that your heels and hips don't quite brush each other. So the hip circles might be smaller. If the hips and lower back and knees feel more open, those circles might be a little bigger. And there's no right or wrong here, just as long as you are practicing safely. So let's take those circles in reverse. I can hear my knees and hips popping a bit as I do this. All right. So we'll move those knees back in line with our hips. And then go ahead and sit back on the heels. Now, if this is not an ideal or comfortable position for you to be sitting in, you have a couple of options. You can either grab a yoga block and then actually place that block underneath you and sit on the block. Another option is to go ahead and come back to that cross-leg seated position. So as I come to my seat here, I often like to open up my knees a little bit wider than my hips and keep my toes together. Keeping that right hand on the mat, back by my right hip, and then lifting that left arm up, and then release. Left arm back, inhale the right arm up. Exhale, release. I'm taking it side to side. So for the moment, my hips are staying on the heels or on the floor. Do one more on the left, and then right back to my seat. All right, so I'm on my seat. I can either rest my hands on my hips, maybe keep them on the tops of my knees. So I want to take some little hip circles here. And you might feel some tightness in the lower back with this movement. It's a nice way to help get some energy moving through the lower back and through the pelvis. So some pelvic and hip circles. And then again, we move in reverse. Typically, we'll have a direction that feels more natural. This one feels a little more unnatural, maybe a little more awkward. Maybe for you, it was the other side. So just try to pay attention as you move, just how the energy is feeling in your body. Okay, coming back to center. So next round, we inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale the arms back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back. And if you need to pause and just take a deep breath, then go ahead. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, shake out those shoulders a little bit. So now for some rotation through the upper body, the chest, the upper back. So whether you like to keep your hands on your knees, sometimes I like to bring my arms up overhead. And I'm circling my chest around. So if you imagine that you had a point kind of at, or drew a circle around your chest, and you were trying to hit the point in the front, point in the side, point at the back, and then point at the other side with your chest and back and sides. So it's a 4-point sort of contact if you think about it in that way. Anyone who has ever done hula hooping, chest hooping, which is something I used to teach, you're probably familiar with this movement for how to chest hoop. So again, another good movement for really opening up the chest, upper back, bringing movement into the spine, and then let's take it into reverse. Again, one direction might come more easily and natural than the other. Just a few more breaths. And big inhale. Exhale the arms down. Just kind of shake out the arms a little bit. Maybe give the hands a bit of a shake. Roll those shoulders out. Roll out the head and neck. And let's make our way back onto hands and knees here. Oops. Okay. So back into tabletop. And I'm opening up my knees a little bit wider than hips again. I'm walking my hands maybe 6 inches out in front of me. So with my next inhale, I'm bringing my hips forward. I'm going to tap my right hip towards the floor and then send my hips back towards my heels in child's pose. Bring my hips forward, tap my left hip to the floor. Send my hips back, child's pose. Inhale forward, I tap right. Exhale back. Inhale forward, left hip taps. Exhale back. So we're alternating side to side. And then if I want, the next time my right hip comes forward, I can kind of circle around and back to the left. So they're really big hip circles essentially. Leading with my right hip, rolling to my left as I take it back. And then I want to switch. Let's pause in child's pose for a few breaths. So before I begin, I'm reaching my fingertips all the way out in front of me so my arms are straight, elbows are lifted, pulling myself up and forward, guided or leaning towards the left hip, and then rolling around to that right as the hips circle back. Leading with the left, rolling out to right. So big hip circles in reverse. Let's do 2 more. And then back to child's pose. All right, slowly guiding ourselves back up to all fours. Coming towards tabletop once again, I want to make sure that I take some of the curvature out of my low back. So try to notice if you have a tendency to just let the belly kind of collapse towards the floor, versus when you activate through the core, draw the belly button up towards the spine, and you can feel that there is less of an arch or curve in the lower back. So if you let the belly collapse towards the floor, lift the tailbone up, versus hug the belly in a bit, not to the point where you're starting to round the spine, but you're in a nice sort of neutral position here. Sliding my right foot back, I keep my toes resting on the floor, and then I'm pulsing and rocking off of that back foot. Forward and back. Just another breath or 2. Let's sweep that right leg out towards the right side of the room. And then rocking the hips back and forward. And back and forward. Trying to get into all parts of our body today. And then I'm taking it back up. I'll slide my right foot back and then lift my leg, but not necessarily taking my leg any higher than my hip. So I can inhale and start to really extend, press into the heel, and then exhale, pull my right knee in towards my nose. Inhale my right leg back, exhale, knee to nose. And you can take this as slow as you want. You can also start to move a little faster if you want to build some heat. Get some energy really flowing here. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 3, 2, and 1. We'll take it to child's pose. Noticing if your wrists have any fatigue at all, and if so, this is a good opportunity to shake out the hands, circle the hands, stretch out the fingers. We'll make our way back to tabletop. I'm going to turn around so I have room to extend my left leg out. And then we'll extend our left leg straight back with our toes resting on the ground, and we're pushing off the ball of the back foot, shifting weight forward and back. And right back to center, sending my left leg out to my left side so my heel lines up right about with the inside of my right knee. Now the hips go back and forward. And just a few more. Back up to center. Send that left leg straight back. Make sure the belly is engaged. Lift the left leg up no higher than the hip. We'll take a breath in. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to nose. And then just keep moving. Again, decide what sort of pace you want to move at. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's take a child's pose. All right, we'll make our way up to a seat. So, legs out in front of us. And we'll extend those legs all the way out, sort of press into the heels a bit. If your hamstrings are particularly tight, feel free to allow a small bend in the knees. With your inhale, the arms lift. I exhale, extend and reach forward. And then pull my upper body back. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, reach. Inhale, back and up. Exhale. And we'll just keep this direction and flow of energy moving for a few more moments. Let's do 3 more. And then we'll take one final extension here, just reaching, and then allow our hands to rest on tops of the legs. Let's see if we can allow for some space across the chest and collarbone. So drop the shoulders back a bit. You may begin to walk the hands up the legs, sit up nice and tall, lower down onto your back, and we may like to hug the knees into the chest here. Oftentimes when I'm here on my back, I like to circle my knees around. It provides my lower back with a bit of a massage. And then moving those knee circles in the opposite direction. All right, I'm gonna finish up here with a twist. Arms nice and wide. Now, some of you might like to keep the knees stacked as you lower them over to the right. I typically like to wrap one leg over the other and then twist. So based on how that is being experienced in your body, will sort of help you assess which one is most appropriate for you. And let's start to lift those knees up. And when you're ready, take it in reverse. And I draw those knees right back up to center. And I'm finishing here with reclining butterfly. So you may take the soles of your feet together, allow your knees to open nice and wide. You can decide where you'd like to keep your arms and relax your arms. And then I'm adding a little bit of a shake to my hips, freeing up any residual tension I may have built up in my lower back or in my spine, sort of shaking it loose, shaking it out. Maybe rock my hips side to side, knees. And once you feel complete, feel free to extend your legs out in front of you, arms by your sides. You're also welcome to finish in seated meditation pose if you'd prefer. And enjoy a nice full breath as a way to permit yourself to relax and surrender more completely. All right, so let's start to gently wake the body up, inviting movement into hands, feet, arms and legs, maybe the head, the shoulders. And you're welcome to roll to your side and take your time pressing yourself upwards towards a seat. And then as you arrive, we'll bring palms together at heart center in Anjali Mudra, sealing our practice and time together on the mat, bowing our head towards our heart in gratitude for showing up in practice and connection this evening. You might like to recite your intention for practice today. And may we all know love, may we all know peace, may we all know kindness, and may these things always flow to and from us. Namaste. So thanks everyone for hanging out with me today, whether you participated live or you are joining in on the replay. Please remember, if you are interested, that we are hosting, and by we, I mean myself and my mom, we are hosting a Mother's Day chat this Sunday at 2. So if you have the time available, then I would love for you to join us. It is a free Zoom hangout. So if you'd like to participate, head over to my business page, The Bloomin' Witch. Check on the left side of the screen where it says events. If you click on events, you should see the event come up. It's called Tulip Talk, a Mother's Day conversation. And it'll be a discussion of motherhood, our relationships with our moms, and of course a discussion around flowers and how flowers can represent relationships and how we can use flowers to kind of give language to different things. So again, it is a free talk. The day of the event, I will be posting the link to access the Zoom room itself, the Zoom hangout itself. So make sure you check that out. So if I don't see you Sunday, then I'll be back Monday at noon for a midday chat, Daily Bloom midday chat, meditation, and then flower card readings. And I would also just like to ask that if anyone has suggestions for any type of other content they would like to see me put out, you know, related to yoga, mindfulness, our connection to the land, Mother Nature, learning how to incorporate kind of the essence of Mother Nature into our day-to-day life. I think I'm going to start getting into a conversation around creating sacred space. And sacred space can happen anywhere. It can be something that you cultivate outdoors. It's really something that you cultivate within yourself, of course. But it certainly is a wonderful expression to kind of create space and create your environment that supports that sacred space. So that's also why I wanted to use this room today, because this room has a lot of energy and spirit for me personally. It really resonates and vibrates at my vibrational level. And I kind of want to encourage everyone to create and build some sort of space for themselves where they can sit and pray or do ceremony or practice yoga or meditation or, you know, just whatever they want to do. So I will start kind of bringing some of that direction into these talks and chats and just the Bloomin' Witch overall. So thank you everyone so much. If you are interested in making a donation to today's class, I will put up a link in the comment section, and I will hopefully see you all on Sunday for Mother's Day. So thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Bye.